Hello, nerds. I figured I'd get my 2 cents in on what the cycle is before the Watcher DLC decides to change all the lore on me. Alright, so, to not drag this out, I think the simplest answer, and the one that answers the most questions from the lore, is that of the simple Buddhist reincarnation slash cycle of karmic reincarnation theory for the cycle. So, why do I think it's that simple? A lot of my reasoning comes from the Hunters campaign, and you'll see that later. You see, some people, Reddit, seem to overcomplicate things by saying the cycle is different for each creature. That what you do in one timeline, you die and you go to a different timeline or something like that, and that explains why the world is similar but not exactly the same. Blah blah blah. See, I think that the Hunter's campaign almost entirely refutes all this. You see, the reactions that both Five Pebbles and Looks to the Moon have when they encounter the Hunter. Five Pebbles tells you you're not well. Understatement, super cancer. He tells you you don't have much time. It's an admirable that you decided to help. Looks to the Moon with your what little time you have left. Looks to the Moon tells you you're not well. You don't have much time left. Thank you. You spent your last cycles helping her. See, they both express a sort of sadness and admiration that you're actually deciding to help people when you're about to die. And I don't think they'd react like this if you were just going to jump into a different timeline or anything along those lines. They might react like that because you, the slug cat before them, are about to die. And then, as Looks to the Moon says, you will wake right back up again. You're going to wake up as the reincarnation of that slug cat. You're not exactly going to be the hunter anymore. You're going to be his reincarnation in a different form. You might have memories of this time, but the reincarnation is the end of your life. It's something to grieve. So they offer respect and a little bit of consolation. And also, I think this model of the cycle explains a lot of the ancients' behavior. Immortality being a bad thing is a pretty common mainstream belief nowadays, and I think that if you were subjected to quasi-immortality, every time you die, you wake back up as a new guy, and you actually, if you can remember this, it would pretty much be immortality, and that would suck. You could see how one might get upset and start doing immoral things, but the ancients don't. They don't devolve into a nothing really matters, apathetic sort of attitude. Why? Because they know if they start doing bad stuff, they get demoted into a batfly. So instead of just doing nothing, they decide to focus on being as karmically good as possible and trying to ascend. I think this even explains their prideful attitudes because in a world with karmic reincarnation being the most intelligent advanced species kind of proves that you are the best. So, in my opinion, that at least explains their behavior a little bit and gives you a little bit of a perspective into why they're so haughty when you meet the echoes. And just for a brief little tangent about Downpour, even though I'm not really factoring this in, so this is kind of a half thought, it would explain why the artificer never sees her kids again. That's kind of brought up sometimes, if the cycle, blah blah blah, why doesn't she just find her kids again? Because they're still out there somewhere. Because reincarnation, first of all, there might not be in the same form, but I think most importantly is reincarnation isn't like you die and then you're immediately born somewhere else. It might take a while. They might reincarnate well after the artificer's storyline has ended. But that's just a thought. Anyway, that's my pitch. Bye.